What's up, guys? This is One Mega Man Fan. Welcome to another night of Nexus Gaming Series. And joining me tonight, we have a special guest, Jay How. Jay how you doing tonight?
Chilling, man. How you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. We are in the lobby, just waiting for teams to hop in, guys. And it should be a good set of games tonight. This is Heroic Division, so always some high-quality games out of these guys. They are chatting away too in the chat in the chat area. So yeah, we're gonna have the first pick and ban going over to Luxorian Sun. Order of the Sleeping Dragons did win the coin toss. They banned out Sky Temple, and then we had the Braxis ban from Luxorian, and then Sleeping Dragons picked up Volskaya and Tomb of the Spider Queen from Lux. So we're gonna have our games on Volskaya and Tomb of the Spider Queen. Volskaya being first. Should be an interesting game. Anything you think you might want to see tonight, Jay How?
Well, I feel like these are two very different maps, so I imagine we'll see a lot of sustain style from Volskaya. Somebody's got to be drafting like, all right, how can I get the most out of these? And then Tomb is all about like, well, when can we get these one-off kills in rotation? So I think there's going to be a lot of bursts. So I think we get a little bit of action on both sides of the realm here. So Tomb, obviously, always my favorite, just because of the constant team fight blow-up action. So I'm looking forward to see how these teams draft there. Especially, we are on the live patch, so we're talking serious changes for some of these heroes.
Yeah, major changes. Kael'thas just got some changes coming in very recently too. I'll be interested to see how the teams decide to play that out here.
I played a few KT games earlier, so
Yeah, how's he feeling? I know he had Pyro Bug yesterday, which I think they fixed
that's
today.
fixed.
So,
Yeah,
which
so
I'm kind of sad I missed. But how's he feel?
I know, just like take advantage of him while he's completely broken.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be interesting to see if teams are willing to go down that route. I think that Kael'thas, I don't think he was that far out of the meta. The Energy Royal talent at level 4 I find particularly interesting, where it has the mana reduction on it, which is huge, and then you get the cooldown. You don't get the range like you normally go at level 4, but the cooldown reduction on it, if you hit a hero, it's a 5-second cooldown. So that part in particular is super interesting to me to see. I think it's going to counter certain drafts, but I just want to see who's willing to take that risk right out of the gate.
Yeah, that's always the interesting part whenever you have a hero that's new or you got changes drop on a hero that's been old, and they get some major changes or some talent changes to try to buff to certain things and drop out the more popular standard build. Is our team's willing to take it, especially when it's so new like this. It's always interesting. I am just waiting on the readies from the teams. I got one there. I need Luxorian Sun to ready up here, and then we'll get rocking and rolling. We got the ready, so we're going to jump right in here, guys. This is going to be game number 1 between Order of the Sleeping Dragon and Luxorian Sun on Volskaya Foundry. First pick and ban, going to go over to Luxorian Sun. I mean, normally I think we would see the Medivh or Maiev ban here. How would you agree with that, or something else you think maybe more prioritized here as a ban?
Well, it's weird because one of the things that made Medivh so strong was his level 7, the explosion, and that was nerfed from 100 to 50% today. And then Maiev saw another round of nerfs, so her passive is now at 13 seconds. And I think that, again, it's tough to play against stuff like that. I almost wonder, Maiev I still feel is going to be pretty strong, so she received health nerfs, she received the vault nerf, she received auto attack nerf, but apparently that tether is still pretty strong.
Yeah, so we do see the standard bans here. I would expect to see a Garrosh here out of this first pick spot, or the Hanzo's still quite popular even with the changes in the current meta.
Yeah, I mean, well, Hanzo is one of the best Garrosh counters, so I think that even in the updated form where he has a little bit less auto attack range, 6.5 is still an incredible range, and to have that sustain and to have that poke against the Garrosh, like especially auto attack, I was talking about that sustain against the Garrosh is probably his biggest weakness, is to just continue to wear him down. So curious if they'll be willing to give that up. No, they're actually going to go mouth.
They're going to go the mouth, prioritize that support, which may force out the support pick here in this 1-2 slot for the Sleeping Dragons just so they don't worry about a support choke. And Stukov's still quite popular. Has nice zoning capabilities along to kind of counter that Malfurion with those roots. Kind of match him there on that. So we may see the Stukov here from them. Or we could see something with a strong combo like a tank and a DPS that they want to combo together.
One of the things that made Stukov so strong on this battleground was his level 4, one good spread, because you know you're going to get value out of that. So you would get 30. It would be from 30, it's now down to 10 mana. And I think that's one of the things is that right there was one of the biggest reasons, like I think he kind of came into the meta, was this kind of playstyle here. And so now that that's been nerfed and then his lurking arm has a longer cooldown, I feel like he's more situational in that instance. So I kind of feel like Lucio might find his way up the ladder just a little bit in terms of priority over Stukov. But we do get the Garrosh you talked about, but they're going to pair it with a Genji.
Yeah, I like the Genji dive, and I agree. The Lucio bumping up would be what I would see as well. I kind of feel like Lucio's an underappreciated support right now. He brings a lot to a team as far as AoE heals and being able to boost your team around and just get that movement speed to rotate between lanes for ganks, which is something they actually might benefit from with that Garrosh Genji. Be able to get Garrosh on somebody a little bit sooner to get that toss, and then that knock up might be valuable to them. The 2-3 slot here for the side of Luxorian Sun. Personally, I think I'd like to see them grab their tank for sure to avoid any kind of possible ban out. And then I'd really like to see him pick up a soul laner here.
I think Blaze would be an excellent part to this, but I'm 100% with you on the Lucio underappreciation. I think now he's going to be coming in. No Blaze, but we're going to get Malthael, and oh yeah, Kel'Thas is here.
Yeah, we're going to get to see some new talented Kel'Thas coming in here. Be interested to see how they play that out. Now, as far as the bans here, we have the ban coming out initially from the Sleeping Dragons here for the second phase. What would you like to see here out of them as far as the ban goes? Because they don't have a very much on their side of things so far.
Unless they're planning to go the Hanzo themselves, I'd say they need to ban out the Hanzo. Hanzo, I feel Hanzo Kel'Thas does feel a little bit squishy though, but I feel that, you know, Kel'Thas, and again, that's why Malthael for me doesn't necessarily stand out, because he's squishy as well. He obviously does very well countering Garrosh, but I think that, you know, you start to look at that and Hanzo's not as threatening, right? So it's like, what tanks could potentially go here? You know, I don't think Johanna's that great, so ETC's, I think, kind of one of those ones that occasionally shines, but at the same time, compositionally, if he doesn't have the right team around an ETC, then he struggles pretty heavily into Garrosh. So it's one of those things I think that's still evolving right now, and being willing to give up a Johanna right now, Kel'Thas loves a Johanna just simply, and you look at Infernal Shrines, like, I want to spread Living Bomb. I want to be able to get somebody into my Flame Strike. Johanna does that pretty well as long as Kel'Thas is following up.
Yeah, that could be a definite choice for them here. Now they got the ban. They got rid of the ECC. Now the ban here for Luxorian. They may try to target a support just to remove an option, you know, for the Sleeping Dragons to pick up here. Could be that Lucio. You know, the 1+ of Stukov still with the Garrosh, I feel, is Garrosh gets that toss back, and then Stukov, if you get that immediate slow and then pop that immediately, just like they're basically stopped dead in their tracks. Almost as good as a root, and then that fills your support role. So that could be something to look at banning out here. They're going to go with the Dahaka, something they don't want Malthael to have to deal with in that solo lane, and also remove that global. Although, not a big map, so not as much value, I feel.
I think one of the problems that you have is Blaze has to be picked now. I mean, if you're looking at Malthael, Last Rites does so much damage, and if you get in a bunker with Last Rites, that Last Rites goes away. And so if I'm a Garrosh, I'm thinking, man, I really need that safety. You know, Genji obviously has the deflect. I think Rhaegar also rises in priority in terms of single target saves. Lucio, Sound Barrier, sometimes not enough. So I think Rhaegar might be here. He gives you some sustain with his level 4 in terms of support, but Blaze definitely has to be picked up, I feel, here on the side. I mean, they can wait. I mean, Luxorian already has the Malthael pickup, but if I'm looking at, hey, look, I don't want a single target blow up, this is what I'm going with. So I'd be surprised if it's anything other than Blaze.
Yeah, I agree with the Blaze. And also that helps out with any damage from Kel'Thas. You know, somebody gets rooted by Malf. That just gives you a nice way out there for your team. They're going to go with the Alexstrasza and the Phoenix.
Alexstrasza, a bit surprising to me. So Johanna, And I think there's a lot of tanks you can go here, but Johanna, I think, definitely rises in priority. But never mind. They are all in on some wombo action here.
They're going for those kills. Got that Kerrigan coming in, and then the Anubrak, and that could set up some deadly combos there. Especially, Kel'Thas gets something like a gravity lapse off. That makes it even easier for Kerrigan to land her stun. Anubrak follow up, and if they're not dead at that point, Malfurion's always got a root to toss underneath. I agree. This needs to be a blaze here, I think, from Sleeping Dragons.
Alexstrasza has a huge green circle she puts on the ground. It says, "Come here to heal." That also is like a green light to a dive composition. So Kerrigan and Nubarak are like, oh, you want to step on that for some heals? That's fine. The problem that I have is I don't think that they're going to have to step on that too often. And the reason being is that we have absolutely no sustained damage on the side of Luxorian. It is all burst, all combo. Malthael, you can kind of throw out a little bit of shade there and try and get autos can spread. But in terms of actual sustained auto attack style damage, they have none. And Kerrigan going into a Garrosh is just going to get tossed around. Malthael has a little bit of mobility. Nubrak does. They are all in. And so that scares me a bit. But if it gets going, if that train gets moving, it's probably not stopping.
Yeah, I almost feel like an Uther or the Rhaegar over the Alex would have been better, just to avoid that blow up. But of course, that was didn't know about the Kerrigan coming out there. But yeah, if they had went with that Rhaegar, they would have had that insta save there per se. The Thrall for the solo lane is interesting to me. Against that Malthael, I wonder how that's going to end up working out in the long run. Or are they going to put the Phoenix up there?
Well, the thing, Thrall actually got a little bit of a buff today to his heal. Lightning at level 1. I don't normally see people go that. Generally, it's kind of going Echo to get that double charge, which really stacks up in the late game. But he does get healing off of his level 1, a little bit more healing. So I'm actually really curious to see what Thrall goes with. I feel like in the solo lane, you can kind of go either, but man, this is very contrasting styles of play here.
Yeah, it should be a fun game for sure. Guys, on the right, in the red, we're going to have Luxorian Sun. We have Patches on that Kel'Thas, Swoop on the Kerrigan, Base Straight on the Nubarak, Haze on that Malfurion, and Electrica on the Malthael.
On the left in blue is going to be that of OSD as Silent Shoe. He's going to be on Phoenix. Woven on Genji, Corgi Booty on Thrall, Trent on Alexstrasza, and Redian on the Garrosh.
Yeah, we don't actually have a talent locked. Thrall just locked his level 1. Gonna go with that Rolling Thunder, it looks like here, for that level 1.
That's the buffed one. So getting that bonus healing, this is gonna be my first time seeing it. Again, with all these changes, there is nothing for certain in this new meta.
Yeah, and we just see the Phoenix go ahead and go into that laser talent at 1 to try to get the advanced targeting, get that stacked up, get that extra circle there, get that extra damage late game.
We're seeing Nerubian armor by Nubarak, which is a little bit surprising to me. And this is one of the reasons why he does well against a Garrosh, is he has that unstoppable burrow charge out, but there's not a lot of spell damage, right? I mean, Thrall maybe a little bit, Genji not so much, Phoenix, if you're getting hit by the laser, but a little bit surprised we're not seeing Regen Master, especially in this rotation, where that in this rotation you're getting an early start because Kel'Thas goes mana at it, and there is no world where you don't pick up globes very early. It is so crucial that you get that completed as soon as possible.
Yeah, and they are working on a great rotation here. Actually, a good bit ahead, almost a whole wave ahead at this point. Kel'Thas is able to help get that wave clear out very quickly. You're going to have Base right here trying to stall out the rotation a little bit. Keeping extra pressure. Thrall rotated up, which is odd. I don't know if he thought his team was going to need him for an engage or not. Give Malthael a little bit of free time there down in the bottom lane.
Yeah, this rotation, again, the wave clear, Phoenix has a decent amount of it, but it is unrivaled, when you look at the side of Kel'Thas. I mean, Kel'Thas just instantly blows this up. I mean, this is almost too easy. They're actually making it more difficult. You want the minions to group, so Kel'Thas does that a little bit quicker, so I'm a bit surprised. Genji, he's going to find a Malthael and a Kerrigan, but rumor has it he doesn't want to go into that.
Yeah, and that's something you really want to party on. So the turret picked up here for the side of Luxorian, and no rotations to the turret camp yet from the side of the Sleeping Dragons. I'm curious to see if they're going to make that rotation before this point pops up. Nice knock up there by the Garrosh onto the 2. Not going to be a kind of follow-up, though.
Yeah, the Garrosh has done really well in terms of at least controlling and disrupting a lot of that. You know, we've seen an Uberak try and do this and kind of separate the thing. This is one of the things when you look at a map like Tomb of the Spider Queen, it's also something similar that we see is that if you're trying to be ahead in rotations, you can use your tank as long as they have mobility. Just disrupt that. We used to see a lot of that from Murd, back when he had the Unstoppable on his Dwarf Toss. ETC does that a lot. There's certain warriors that just make that very difficult rotation.
Yep, I do miss the old days with that Unstoppable Dwarf Toss. It was nice. We're gonna have the
Most Murd and mains do.
We have the Vengeful Roots from Malfurion here, bringing out the Treant. Going to be engaged on the Corgi Booty here, and he is going to fall here. First kill of the game going over Luxorian Sun. Counter engage here. Electrica kind of caught out in the back here with the Phoenix and the Alex, but looks like he'll be okay so far. Nubarak going to dive in here, and that's going to be another kill for the side of Luxorian onto Alex Strauza. They're going to get this point started here.
Like I said, I mean, if you can get this train moving, it is pretty dominant. So far, they've got 2 early kills there. You know, it seems like everything's going their way. We don't see Energy Royal. We're still going Netherwind here for Kelthon, so not a change up there. But definitely a lot of new talents, That's a very nice Flame Strike. Oh, Kerrigan ends up getting the Ravage. That is jebaited, to say the least.
Yeah, I don't think she was expecting that kind of dive there on it, because the combo could have been there for the Genji kill, but I don't think she was expecting that at all to come out.
I think our caster overlay might be disrupting some view for people.
Oh, shoot. Are we?
I'm a giant human.
You are a giant human. We're fixed now. There we go. 2-minute delay.
And in cast. What do you mean smaller pick? There are no smaller picks.
I know. Well, and I had to be accurate and put you a little bit taller than me. So, you know, I tried here. I tried my best.
What are you talking about? Mission accomplished. I'm all for it. You know, we are seeing changes. This is like so intriguing to me to see all this. So we're also seeing Sun King's Fury. So it spreads. It does extra damage when it spreads your Living Bomb. And I guess if you're... Oh, there is a major combo. Garrosh, if he walks away from this... There's no way. But getting the group, there's going to be a combo landing onto Phoenix, but he's going to warp out. But again, everybody having to clump for heals. And if you get that stun combo and Kalthas follows up on any of it, I mean, that's really, really strong.
Yeah, we are going to have the pause here real quick. Discord dying. Yeah, I can tell Discord's dying because you're desyncing with me, Jao.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's
Just FYI. Enlarge on the screen.
You won't be large too much longer. It's that 2-minute delay. It's killer.
Yeah.
One day I'll get that fancy casting set up.
All gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, we gotta start somewhere.
I really wanted to see the Energy Royal. I mean, obviously, the instant playmaking potential is on Netherwind, especially being at a safe distance against the likes of a Thrall and a Garrosh and a Genji. So I can understand why it's not there, but the selfish part of me wanted the Energy Royal. But either way, we've got a Protector being picked up here at the early part. Luxorian also getting a camp at the bottom right. Interesting rotation here as they've picked up this first Protector.
Yeah, and no one's in the Protector, so you don't want to go too close to the tower yet, because obviously no one's in that turret. But I kind of feel like somebody should have just jumped in it to at least put out that free damage, because Genji's already got this down almost a quarter of its health.
Generally, we see a rotation to the top lane. That was an incredible laser damage. Just because the second Protector is always at the top. I mean, it's mid, top, then bottom in that rotation. And the reason you do that is you take down the wall up at the top, so you have a chasing distance. Then you also have the well down, so that you have that advantage to yourself. So a bit surprising that they opted to go bot lane. So generally you can double down. The good thing is that because of the kills, the amount of wave clear that they've had, they're going to have a pretty significant advantage in terms of experience. So they can still siege up, even without the Protector, and I think they might try and do that.
Yeah, and if you notice, 10s are locked in here for Luxorian and Kael'thas with a very interesting level 10. We got Pyroblast.
You got to. I almost wonder if we'll see, because his level 13s were changed. Well, one of them was changed for the cooldown reduction, and instead of 1 second, it's a half second, which is still really strong. But I'm really curious if they'll switch it up, because there is the extra spread radius. I want to see if he's willing to go that, because if you get to level 20 with Pyroblast, landing the Living Bomb or a Flame Strike on somebody reduces the cooldown by 10 seconds. So I want to see it.
Yeah, but I'm curious who he's going to dump it on. You have Genji has the Reflect. Phoenix can teleport out of it. I guess Thrall's going to be the main target, or Alex.
I actually ran the composition earlier, I think in the very last game before I got on here, as a Kael'thas and Malthael. Just Kael'thas, Pyroblast, directly into a Last Rites. Pretty much nobody lives from that.
We'll get a little Chinese bush meta here. This is going to be a kill onto Corgi from that Flame Strike, although Patch is a little too far out, is going to fall. And Garrosh, I think he's going to be okay. Going to back up here. Alex dropping the bombs.
I'm surprised they don't re-engage on this. They have the healing pulse. I guess no Kael'thas. I was going to say, they had the potential to land a big combo there with Kerrigan and potentially get that out. But yeah, it's an interesting composition. We'll see if they pull that off. Pyroblast into Last Rites. I mean, just put Last Rites on them right as the Pyroblast is about to hit them or coming near them. Then watch what happens, because nobody lives from that.
Everybody's gonna have a bad time with that. But the 1-for-1 trade is gonna help out Sleeping Dragons here a little bit. They're obviously down about a level. Genji trying to soak this level back up in the bottom lane. We'll see. I don't know if they're gonna catch up before 13 hits, and because this next objective should be probably about another 30 seconds or so.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those weird timing things on Volskaya, is that even if you're not 13, generally you're going to give it up, but because of the pacing of the capture, you should have enough time, so long as they're soaking lanes. And right now it looks like they're rotating directly up to the top, so this is a little bit surprising. The only way you can really capitalize off of this, especially if they know that somebody's down in the bot right, is to clear the wave and then instantly push onto the structures, because the structures are generally going to be your best way at getting experience in a hurry. And instead they get that going. They're going to use Genji to poke a little bit, but they see the rotation. But they need to get the experience. They'll give up a little bit in terms of the control over a period of time, but they should be able to get 13. That's why, like, not having anybody bottom right now, they're losing valuable experience. That's actually pretty crucial. They'll still get 13. They're just a few steps behind.
Yeah, Thor going to make the rotation down, and the fort did take a little bit of damage there from that minion wave as well. Corgi going to get this cleaned up real quick, and a rotation here, and then if he does middle wave, that should be enough to get them 13.
They're very near, so they're going to give up. The healing camp we see is coming here, but it looks like OSD ready to look for a fight here. Luxorian holding on for now. You can see them kind of split. A Nubrak holding point. Malfurion starting to move back. Lightning going in for Corgi Booty, trying to poke a little bit of the Malthael. Teach him some respect, as a Nubrak, though, going in deep here.
Yeah, Taunt's going to come out, and that's going to be the first kill of this fight on the Nubrak. Kerrigan popping that ult, trying to get the damage. Alex just able to ult to get out of that dive from her. You're going to see the X-Strike here to get the kill on the Kerrigan. Malfurion falls as well. So that's going to be a 1-for-3 trade in favor of the Sleeping Dragons. Going to get a quick Alex seal, invade on this. But honestly, the death timers are still short, so as long as nobody else falls here, they may have a chance at getting it. Matthew's going to fall. That's going to be a staggered death timer here.
Yeah, that's crucial right there. I mean, that's the problem with Malfurion against the burst style, is that you don't have the heals. And Anubrak stayed in there a little bit long, maybe looking for somebody, but then all of a sudden Radiant's like, what if I just rip the taunt? And he actually did a very good job of controlling that area, and there was no follow-up, there was no savior. We did see the Pyroblast into the Last Rites. That combo was successful, but overall, when it comes to getting control over this, and you can see he's going in, this is him going in for a globe for Kael'thas, by the way. But the amount of damage, and then Alex Straza, a very timely cleansing flame in the middle of all that. It's almost impossible to save that Pyroblast Last Rites. But in terms of what we saw, the Alex Stronza was kind of the key part. Kept everybody alive, helped confirm another kill. So very good counterplay here on the side of OSD.
Yeah, we're going to see the walk-in now from the side of Lux. They're going to get the Cocoon onto the Garrosh. Protector going to get picked up, though, in favor of the Sleeping Dragons. Nobody has fallen yet, but Garrosh and Phoenix are a little split out here.
Radiant doesn't want any of this. You can actually see Swoop going in on the Kerrigan, but the X-Strike is going to land as Woven goes in, takes down the Mouth Hill. You can see the Dragon Queen is stopped. Corgi Bootian team still looking. The Planet Cracker's going to confirm a kill onto the Kerrigan, and all of a sudden, Mega Man, what's happening here? Like OSD, all of a sudden, they're like, look, we got 10, it's fine.
Well, you know, they do have that dive blow-up comp, and, you know, against them, but they have a little bit themselves with that Genji. They talented into the Planet Cracker. I mean, if somebody gets locked down by Garrosh for a second, Planet Cracker X-Strike can kill almost anything. And, you know, they're getting the picks. That's all that matters. They got the 16s here. Gonna take down this keep wall. I don't know if they're gonna push your keep here or rotate up to that middle fort. Looks like they're gonna go in.
This would be a huge power play. I mean, if they're able to get the keep down, and they've done pretty successful at this point, if they don't get it down, then they're missing out on clutch experiences. Pyroblast is going to be used onto the Protector. That's one way to make sure and save your keep.
That will work. X-Strike is still up for Genji, so he can definitely make it out of this in one piece. Oh, that Wolf just barely missing base straight there for the lockdown. We're going to see the invade here on the camp from the Sleeping Dragons. Going to pick this up, get that pressure going in that top lane. And we'll see what they rotate to. I think they'll take the Healing Pulse here. They're so close to it. It's going to provide them some great help in this next fight. Yeah, it makes perfect sense to grab this here.
Yeah, they've got 16. I don't think Luxorian's going to be looking for a fight anytime soon. They have good control vision over the map because they've had the lanes pushed out. So OSD doing a lot of things right here. They didn't get the keep. So again, using that Protector to sometimes prep the next wave or the next capture point is generally going to be a little bit safer, and it definitely gives you a lot of control throughout this. You can see that these teams are really going for the big home run plays that hasn't quite paid off, but OSD nonetheless, ever since that level 13 fight going up there, you know, they did a good job soaking. They came up there and they've taken control of the game for the last handful of minutes.
Yeah, a little bit of a bush meta here from Lux. They like hiding in these bushes. Not going to catch anyone out, though. Looks like they're going to have this 4-man down on the bottom. Should put some pressure on to this fort here. We see the push out mid from the Garrosh. Are they going for keep here?
Yeah, but they're pathing. They have to be careful with their pathing. And right there, they actually just showed. They just showed to that bottom minion. And he might be in trouble. I think that... Yeah.
I think he knew it there. They're going to go ahead and drop the turret down here. They do have the healing pulse as well, so they should be able to get this keep before the 4-man here from Luxorian Sun gets up here. Kerrigan with the ultimate dive there. Going to get tossed in. Going to pop the ult. There goes the Twilight Dream, silencing multiple members. Kalefoss does...
Twilight Dream was money. Kerrigan trying to make the play, but... they're all able to get out of there. Genji going in. He's trying to make the big play, but Phoenix is going to stick around. That's going to be Kerrigan getting the resets. And all of a sudden, yes, they got the keep, but they just gave up a lot in return. And Luxorian bringing the fire back there. But that Twilight Dream by Hayes single-handedly turned that fight around. That was incredible timing.
Yeah, the Twilight was great there. And then also the Ice Block as well. Like, saved him from that Swift Strike from Genji, so it kept him alive through that. And then that enabled him to keep his team healed up once they chased down the Genji. Gonna have the wall push here from Luxorian. The Treant gonna come out to soak some of these tower shots.
It's funny because generally you can get more value out of some of the other level 4 talents, but a lot of people have that general priority. The same way that we saw the turret put down, obviously it gives a little bit of damage, but keeps and structures prioritize minions and items and everything else before they prioritize heroes. So if you have minions there, it's much easier to accomplish that. So they were able to go down that route. They use the Treant to kind of soak these shots. That way they can dive cores, dive keeps, things like that are a little bit more difficult otherwise.
Yeah, I think it's just because everybody loves the broccoli. I think that's what it is.
Can you blame him?
No, I can't.
Infinite stacking, my favorite part.
Pushing here from Lux, and I don't know if I agree with this because this gives the green light as soon as these 4 show that, hey, Sleeping Dragons, go ahead and push wherever you want. Take whatever you want in the bottom half because we're not going to be there. Dragons are going to go ahead and take the turret camp here. And then start pushing in onto this bottom wall. Heal Pulse going to get picked up in the top by Luxorian.
You made a really good call there. I would have really liked for that Phoenix to maybe prioritize clearing the minions before he started to move up towards that, because right now they'd be able to move in multiple people directly after that turret camp, and they would have already had this down and already been well on their way for that race to 20, and then also maybe taken that well down in the middle of that. So they kind of crippled themselves a tiny bit. They can back off of this easily, can OSD if they want to back out, maybe rotate mid, get 20, and then look for the re-engage, else they're going to have a 20 versus 20. That Indomitable use to block the Cocoon, Redian, that is insane. And now they've got the Planet Cracker. That's going to be a huge taunt. Redian right there, despite dying to last rites, that was a highlight play right there.
That Planet Cracker on top of that. First of all, the self-cleanse with the Unstoppable from Garrosh there to stay out of that Cocoon as it was flying at him. Beautiful play. And then to stack that up on top with that, with the Planet Cracker taunt combo. Oh, so beautiful. Money value on that Planet Cracker. I mean, it was hitting 3 members the entire time.
Sidewall going for core, and you have Garrosh to think. Let's see if they can do it. They get the lockdown on the keep to make sure they don't take any more damage. They're getting on the core. Shields will not be long for this, and I think they've done it. That Redian single-handedly just was like, look, I know that this is looking a little bit rough. It's 19-19, but what if we just win? I mean, that is some next level play right there. I mean, that is, it's hard to, I guess, capture how amazing that play actually just was. For him to, one, use the self-cleanse on the Cocoon, and then obviously the Planet Cracker, and to position himself in a manner to make sure that he gets the taunt directly into that Planet Cracker, that was insane.
Yeah, that was definitely I don't think that was by chance. I think there was definitely some practice going on there with that combo. But beautiful play there by Radiant on the Garrosh. Has to be MVP for this match, I think, for his team. Quick look for you guys at the stats and talents here. Any odd talents you see here looking at the screen, J-How?
You know, the Living Bomb on 16 at Kel'Thas, I'm still not entirely sold on that one. But, I mean, there's only one way to find out. And then obviously going into the Spirit Wolf at level 4, or the Feral Spirit, I should say, at level 4, and then comboing that with 16. It's something we don't normally see from Thrall builds. But it's definitely one way to kind of manipulate this. So Thrall went an entirely different self-sustained build, and it seemed to work.
Yeah, it definitely did work out for him. He was up most of the time. He tied Garrosh for the most deaths, but what are you going to do when you're in the front line? I mean, somebody's got to die, and you don't want it to be your Phoenix or your Alexstrasza sitting in the back. So better your front line than your back line. Guys, we're going to go ahead and get ready for this second game. That one won by Order of the Sleeping Dragons. Next map is going to be Luxorian Sun's Choice, I believe. Let me check here. Yep, Luxorian Sun's Choice is going to be Tomb of the Spider Queen, which, very similar map. So we might see a similar composition from both these teams, possibly.
Oh, Kel'Thas on this map. I wouldn't go the same build, but I would definitely say that Kel'Thas definitely has a place on this map, and a much more prominent place on this map compared to Volskaya. I mean, you can use this a little bit differently. You can definitely get an advantage in terms of wave clear. You have amazing defense, especially if you go to 13, then you go the double flame strike at 16. And then you can just kind of play around some of the talent. I mean, Phoenix is still pretty strong. I don't think there's anything, if you go the standard build, I don't think it changes anything with Kel'Thas, but I definitely think he has a place to really make some things happen. Jaina obviously would rise in priority as well, but man, I'm not gonna lie, dude, that Garrosh play, like, that was insane. Like, I dare anybody to like try that themselves and be like, yeah, I just won a game. No big deal. I told
you when I sent you the invite. It's some high level stuff we got here. You know, this, you can see a lot of these teams. This is a practice or warm up for the amateurs before they start moving into open division. We see a lot of teams start out in something like Nexus Gaming Series, where they can kind of get their feet wet, get going as a solid comp. I mean, these guys committed. 4 of them even changed their BattleNet tags.
That's pretty committed. Luxorian Sun has been around in some form or fashion for some time. I'm pretty sure I casted them at some point back, like, long time ago. Like, long time ago. I feel like they've been around in some form or fashion at various points.
Yeah, I know they've been around for a while. I believe they have some teams in other games as well too. Real quick shout out, Murda, it's Murda. Murda, thank you for the host with 6 viewers. Appreciate it, man. Guys, welcome. We're about to get started with game number 2 here between Order of the Sleeping Dragon and Luxorian Sun. Order of the Sleeping Dragon is up 1-0 in this 2-game series so far, and yeah, it's good. And then we got my beautiful co-caster here with this voice of an angel, J-Hal, joining me, which is just a complete honor.
His gaze is intense, though.
I know. I found, so fun story. That pick is from, I don't know if you caught it during I want to say it was during BlizzCon.
Oh, that's
or
our
something.
BlizzCon background. Yeah.
Yeah. There was someone on Reddit that was analyzing everybody's outfits, and this is one of the photos from it. I was like, I love that stare. I'm like, I need this.
Yeah, that guy had it out for me until the finals.
Yeah, I was, I mean, you can't please everyone. That's what I'm gonna say.
Oh yeah, but it's funny, the analytical side, like, let's just say that there were some things wrong with their assessment that goes against general fashion things that are out there. Promises.
Well, there's only professionals doing your makeup and outfits and everything. They don't know what they're talking about. Guys,
it's an interesting life.
Guys, we're gonna hop into game number 2 here. We're gonna have first pick and ban from the side of Order of the Sleeping Dragons. Oh, J-House, thank you for the host too.
Hey, that's me.
There's some cool guy named J-How that hosted us, guys. You guys should go follow him. He's got some real cool stuff on his channel. You should check him out.
My God, it's nothing. I just want to know who's picking Kel'Thas here, and do they dare let Garrosh through?
I don't know, honestly. We're gonna have the Chromie ban, and these teams may have scouted each other, which I sent you some of the stats, not the whole stat page, but the short version of the stats earlier, that the teams can have if they're a Patreon for Nexus Gaming Series. So they can kind of scout each other out a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see that the Chromie ban may be targeted, or may just be we don't want to play against this in general. But that also leaves either Medivh or Maiev open here, depending on what gets banned out from Luxorian Sun, which was both of those were banned out last game.
The thing is like, if you feel confident in playing either one, you can let one through and then pick up the other. They're gonna let Maiev through, which, Maiev on small battlegrounds and these tight chokes, you're more susceptible to getting leashed. Again, the Maiev changes, I don't know. I mean, nerfed health-wise, nerf your trait to where you're not invulnerable. I mean, it's an interesting thing. There's a lot of nerfs to Maiev again today, so I don't know the confidence level of certain teams to play it. Again, it requires a lot of team coordination. So we'll see if somebody's willing to go down that route.
Yeah, so Medivh ban, first pick here from OSD. I really feel like they just grabbed the Garrosh, but they're going to grab the Maiev here. Going to get that Warden's Cage possibly, which, does that mean we see the Diablo or the Tyrael picked up from Lux here?
I mean, all I got to say is Diablo's about to get a sick rework, so if you like the old Diablo, you better get in your games while you can.
I know, I saw the highlight video, and I'm very excited. I don't play Diablo much, not much of a tank guy, but yeah, I saw the talent changes, and I really like them. We got Shimada brothers in here.
Yeah, the Hanzo, or the Genji from last game, like, straight killed it. Like, just straight killed it. And so, denying that one, you have pretty decent clear. Remember, Hanzo on this battleground generally goes explosive arrows at level 4. Sometimes we'll go into the scatter arrow build, but explosive arrow is generally going to be better in terms of wave clear. That was also nerfed today. So we'll see if Hanzo makes a change up there. But Hanzo is also one of those heroes that they nerfed his auto attack range from 7.5 down to 6.5. And so the fact that we don't see a Garrosh picked up is now like, all right, Hanzo normally does really well against Garrosh. Not so great against a Johanna, but Johanna in itself isn't exactly the most terrifying engagement tank in the game.
Yeah, I do like the Junkrat, though. That displacement he provides. And also, picking up the Junkrat here doesn't give away necessarily what you're putting in your solo lane, because Junkrat can fill that solo lane, or he can be your ranged DPS. He can put out some big numbers. But also, the plus of Steel Trap and Concussion Mine not being able to be destroyed gives you some great vision on the turn-in points while you can kind of sit back and do your own thing. So I really like the Junkrat pickup here. Ban here from Luxorian Sun for the second phase. I honestly don't know what they ban out here. I'm assuming they ban out a solo laner they don't want to deal with, or I'm not sure, because the other side, you don't want to ban a support, you don't have one yet.
Yeah, again, the Stukov changes, I'm not really sure where they lie, and it looks like Malfurion's not going to be the pickup. I mean, I'm trying to think of, what might come in, and I think an Uther would be good, but again, the scary part is that Maiev is kind of like your engagement setup, because Johanna is very limited in that role in this instance. So Maiev is kind of there, and if you're worried about one person kind of being targeted or blown up, Uther does well. I think Uther's kind of fallen off for a lot of teams, but again, with the Malfurion and Stukov nerfs, that only makes the other supports rise. One other thing to consider here, and I might be going out on a limb with a Hanzo, but Ariel received some buffs today, and I wonder if somebody's willing to try that out.
Yeah, Ariel did get a few buffs. I feel like, no, I didn't quite read them all. I don't remember what her changes were. Did they increase how often she can drop her heal? Because I know that they brought that down a while back.
They made it so that she retains more energy that she does towards non-heroes, which is good for her to basically use her big ribbon slap. The name escapes me, but her Detainment Strike, they moved one of the talents and they coupled it with a level 4, which I think is actually pretty decent. You get the extra knockback on the level 4, which you can get some extra damage off of. So Ariel's one of those things I think a lot of people will experiment with. So we'll see. Rhaegar, Uther, Lucio, I think might still have priority, and I'm curious what we'll see Luxorian pull out here.
Yeah, now I would say Uther might be a little risky, because that then puts the option for Sleeping Dragons to grab that Gul'dan, and Gul'dan into Uther is a tough time for Uther. They're gonna grab the Rhaegar Blaze. I like that combination. It doesn't give away what you want to run for your main tank until you see what they pick up, and it gives you a solid solo laner. And Rhaegar's never bad. That's the hard thing. Rhaegar's never bad. He's been nerfed a little, but he's still not a bad sport.
He sticks around. That's one thing he does. So now support-wise, you've got Uther, you've got Lucio to pick here. And again, against the Genji, it's not the worst. Uther doesn't do incredibly well against the Hanzo. Johanna does have self-survivability. Maiev has a lot of tools to help survive. Junkrat generally plays from a safe distance. So, there's not anything overly, I guess, concerning playing into it just yet. But again, we saw the Alex Straza last game. That worked, and I must say that I was much more impressed by it than I thought I would be. So there's a lot to consider here.
We could even see, do you think we see something like a Lily Tyrael combination maybe here?
I mean, I kind of hope not.
I hope not too, but I mean, they could go that way with it. They're going to take the Alex.
I was going to say, they need a melee assassin. I don't think that there's enough damage. Like, Maiev is a melee assassin, so to speak. But in terms of getting those blow-up kills, getting the lockdown, Junkrat and Maiev don't get kills. That's the problem. So going into something else that doesn't do damage, I think would be very, very difficult. Diablo, again, they're going to try and abuse the fact that there's an area heal. And there's a lot that, Diablo can kind of play around in this composition, but he also gets bounced around a lot. If Junkrat can get the lockdown, Maiev can get the pullback. Diablo might be in for a rough early game.
Yeah, he might be in for a tough early game, but he has a lot of nice angles here onto him. I'm actually surprised he made it that far down in the draft before getting picked up or banned. Usually he's a little bit higher priority on Tomb of the Spider Queen just because of those angles, I feel.
Well, we're going to find out. The Alexstrasza, again, not overly surprising after the performance that I saw last game. She doesn't really sit high on my priority list, but here for Trent, he made the plays at all the right times. Again, that cleansing flames at the top control point was incredibly powerful. And then, the Dragon Queen follow-up, and then Ready and making the big plays. And then Woven was the Genji player, and he was incredible last game. So individually, I think they have a lot of really talented people that can make plays for this team. On the other side, again, the play from Hayes was really good. On that Malfurion, they had a lot of really good plays. It's just late game. Again, that composition that they had was all in or bust, and it busted in the end.
Yeah, unfortunately, but we'll see if they can bring it back here. Guys, Order of the Sleeping Dragons versus Luxorian Sun. Order of the Sleeping Dragons up 1-0 so far. On the right in the red, Luxorian Sun. We're going to have Electrica on the Blaze, Hanzo being played by Swoop, Hayes on that Rhaegar, Base Straight on the Diablo, and Patches on that Genji.
On the left side is going to be OSD in blue as it's Silent Shoe on Junkrat, Trent on the Alexstrasza, Ready on Johanna, Woven on Maiev, of course, and then Corky Booty, as we saw in draft chat. Apparently he's a one-trick. Plural.
Hey, if you can make it work, why not? Early poke here from Junkrat, fairly normal. Thrall this time going to go with Echo of Elements at level 1.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot more sense here. You don't need that self-sustain, but there's a lot of that bouncing around. When you lose control of your hero, especially in the early game as a Diablo before you get souls, it is not pretty. I mean, it is incredibly difficult to kind of engage or really do anything. So, that's just a sign of the early game. Again, once you start to hit that level 7 through 10, when things get a little bit easier for Diablo once he's stacked, and then obviously level 10, the engagement threat, and then 13, 16, obviously he's a terror, literally. We'll see how he does up until those moments.
Yeah, and actually Hanzo at level 1 going into the Scatter Arrow build initially. Seems like an interesting choice for me on this map.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that I think it kind of depends on the enemy tank. The fact that they've got a Johanna, the auto attack isn't necessarily as appealing. And it really is kind of, I think, at that realm, right? So it's like, all right, that also says to me that they're willing to commit to the Scatter Arrow build at level 4, which means that they'll have to commit to it at level 7 in order to get the full value out of the Scatter Arrow build. You can't do kind of a mixed bag at that point. I mean, level 4 maybe, but with the changes to Explosive Arrow today, I think that's almost impossible to give up. So it'll really be around the PvE. The problem that I see with certain Hanzo players is that when you have the web weavers pushing against you, sometimes it does get difficult to find those proper angles to get the clear until you get that pierce at 16. And so you look at a Genji and you look at a Hanzo and you're like, all right, if you give up those mid-game web weavers, do you have the ability to clear them? And I think that'll be one of the things that we'll have to look out for as the game goes on.
Yeah, we're going to have the early night camp here picked up from the side of Luxorian Sun. And actually in the bottom, Blaze working on those Siege Giants. And surprised we didn't see a more aggressive rotation from Sleeping Dragons, because there was a lot of people missing on the map for a good minute. They just continued up with their rotation, which is fine. They'll keep the soak, keep collecting those gems, trying to get to the turn-in here. And they are starting to get some in. They already got 15 turned in, so a little bit of a head start here on the turn-in over Luxorian.
Well, I want to talk about what just happened, right? We saw a camp picked up, the night camp picked up mid. You highlighted that it was picked up kind of early. Generally, one of the best things to do with it is to get some tower damage done in the mid lane, making your first web weavers even stronger, and then it's easier to snowball. They use that instead, as Woven's going to get the pull out, they use that instead to rotate down to get the Siege Giants. Do you realize that they did nothing with either? It's like, are you buying rotations or are you actually doing something with it? They're going to get a little bit of push value down here. I'm actually surprised they didn't rotate anybody over, but generally you want to commit to these, right? Corky Booty actually just needed to use his lightning onto the giant, but generally you want to find more out of those moments.
Yeah, we're going to engage here up in the middle. Nice pull by Woven onto 4. Not going to get a pick, though. Hanzo very low. Flip combo on to the Johanna, but she will be just fine. Another pull in there. Patches with the dash out. And the kill on Diablo. First blood over to the Sleeping Dragons. But no gems will be missed. They will get picked up here by Hayes. Which, in a sense, is a little bit better because it's a little easier for him to get the turn in and let his Diablo zone for him.
Well, the Diablo continuing to have enough early game, and I was wrong. It will be Explosive Arrow at level 4, despite the nerfs today. I really thought that the nerfs might say, hey, look, Scatter Arrow, especially if you're going this style of play. Instead, they realized that getting those Scatter Arrows for the wave clear might be a little bit more difficult. Again, that's where I see a lot of people struggle. So Explosive Arrow, I guess, well, I'm a little bit surprised. Again, it's still new, it's still fresh, and they're willing to go. We just saw the Scatter Arrow nerf 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, so we'll see.
We'll see. Heal on the backline there from the Alex. Going to keep her team up. Both teams trying to slowly get their turn-ins here. Woven going to come down. Has 21. Hayes not going to let this go in. But Corgi did get some dropped in, so are they going to try to stall out here? They're going to keep stalling out Woven here, which I think is a good call. Has exactly enough to get the turn in. Actually, more than enough. Johanna also has enough too, so that's... I feel like maybe they just double threaten turn. Johanna goes to one, Woven goes to the other, but we're going to have the sneaky turn in from Hayes. Red Webweaver is going to be spawning for Luxorian. Let's see what they can get done here with them.
This Hanzo build, when I said that you wouldn't get a mixed bag, we have a mixed bag.
That is a very, very mixed bag.
I mean, the reason you don't see sharpened arrowheads with Scatter Arrow at level 4 or at level 1 is simply due to the fact that your auto attacks, if you don't go Redemption, are incredibly slow. You can get one auto and one Q in, and you're going to get -4 armor reduction, and then that's about it.
Yeah,
I mean, you get another auto in there, so by the time you get that -6, is it worth that extra Scatter Arrow damage that you get off of 2 auto attacks? And
yeah.
They're willing to say it is.
Yeah, I'm going to see the pull here on to Hayes. I don't think he makes it out. Another kill in favor of the Sleeping Dragons. We did see the fort fall bottom, though, to the Blaze. So that will be some XP given over to Lux here. Give them a little bit of a break on this XP race. Give them a chance not to fall behind here. Because if the kills keep falling like this for Sleeping Dragons, they're going to be in trouble. I mean, kills give XP, and that adds up real fast.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is on this battleground is the gems. If you lose those gems, you're going to be at a deficit as the game goes on, and your ways to come back are going to be through team fighting. As we see Electra getting the interrupt down here, we'll see he should have one more Q, but it looks like we might see the collapse. Maev going to get the leash on, but Electra's like, look, I'm cool with this. And that was actually really good body blocking by Woven. I don't know who Woven is, man, but I'm digging his play tonight.
Yeah, he's doing a great job tonight. 10, though, picked up for Luxorian here, so that will help him defend. Honestly, nothing out of the ordinary. Yeah, nothing. I was going to say Rhaegar's holding for a second, but I don't think we see bloodlust here. So, nothing out of the ordinary here for the side of Luxorian. You're going to see the flip combo on top. That Swift Strike, Dragon Blade, insta blow up onto the Junkrat there. Thrall going to get that nice split on the team to try to save his tank. Diablo very low, is going to fall before the Ancestral lands. Patch is low as well. Gonna Swift Strike out. He should be okay. Oh, Alex!
Oh my. Dude, I'm telling you, Trent right now on Alex Strauss is making me reconsider all of my thoughts.
200 IQ play. 200 IQ play. And
knew he had to be somewhere.
He's got to be somewhere. And actually, there's a lot of gems on the side of the Sleeping Dragons. They can double turn in here, and that will give them a huge snowball into the 13, as long as no one dies.
Electra, he's going to receive the Ancestral. He does have Bunker. I was going to say, I'm not sure if that was going to be on cooldown. Bay eating a lot of damage, but you're right, that push was pretty significant on the side of OSD, and I think what they're looking at right now is they're going to tap and they're going to get the Siege Giant, or the Night Camp here. So get the Night Camp, you can threaten 13, and then really start to open this up. And by getting control of the mid lane, which this camp definitely does, it will buy you a little bit of time. And you know your opponent is sitting on 30 gems. They're a long way away. So you have a lot of control over the map for the next minute, minute and a half, because they cannot threaten turn in, can Luxorian. So the fact that there's no threat, they can push out this mid lane, they can get an easy turn in, and then they can look to take the top fort and then maybe a keep wall and then continue to snowball this and try and get that 16 tier. They have enough tools between the Johanna and the Junkrat to continue to poke and whittle down and get this going. But furthermore, also deny a turn in when we see Luxorian get there. So there is a lot of control right now, very much in OSD's favor.
Yeah, we're going to see the Night Camp here for Luxorian to kind of help counter this push, but it's going to get cleaned up super fast and actually give time for the Web Weaver to get up and land on this. And if they don't get this cleaned up, this could be a scary push in the middle. Pull on 2. Bunker goes down. Going to be a nice zoning tool. Actually help slow up that camp from pushing in here.
For now, you can see the Condemn going in. Woven, let's see if he tries to make the play. He goes, he gets the tether in, gets the Diablo pulled back. Diablo, however, was like, get a little closer to this wall and you're coming over with me. Unable to do so. Riptire going to be used by a little bit of space there. And now this Web Weaver, again, a little bit of damage onto the keep wall. They can rotate up. They can rotate down. They might actually rotate for more because Diablo's getting wrecked right now.
Diablo's going to fall. Ancestral's going to land on the Blaze. Hanzo arrow to stun out the 4-man. There's the Thrall stun. Can they get the pick here? It's going to be close. He is just going to make it out. But the fort top is going to fall. Alex. This could be... Oh, the thought is, does she land back there and let them break the sidewall and try for the pick there? Would have been a little risky, but could have been worth it possibly. So we're going to see 2 keep walls fall here for sure, which is a lot of XP over to the Sleeping Dragons. They're actually going to start engaging onto the keep here. Web Weaver is almost dead, but they have a nice wave with this. They should be able to pick this up without losing anyone. And honestly, even if they did lose someone, what's the worst that's going to happen? They're going to take the boss. They don't have enough for turning yet.
Yeah, the fact that they, again, have staggered some of the deaths, a lot of gems have been lost on the side of Luxorian, but Woven, he's made so many plays for this team. Again, that's one of the problems where you generally see Johanna teams run into, is if you have a Johanna Blaze, Blaze can kind of set up some plays, but he's not always going to be the huge playmaker. He can. Then you look at somebody like Maev. That's why Maev is up there, but then you have the Assassin up there. So this draft for OSD is actually paying dividends, and a lot of it is because Woven on the Maev. The fact that he is their Maev, their Genji player, shows that this is a very talented individual that really fits well on this team. So I'm really enjoying this, and Rhaegar, I think he might be done for.
Yeah, Rhaegar stepped out a little too far without his tank. Hanzo are going to come out to get the stun, but that's not going to be enough to get any picks. Riptire going to come out here. Blaze is in the bunker. Warren's cage not going to catch the Blaze. He will sneak right on through, but he will still fall to damage. 2 more kills for OSD, and 16 now picked up for them. This should be a boss rotation here.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. They've already got the bottom keep down. That will threaten the boss in the top, will be able to threaten the top keep. And if they're able to get the same type of plays because they have this 16 talent tier advantage, they make the same type of plays. They have Woven there. He gets 1 pull in. One pull turns into 2. Turns into 1 kill, then it turns into 2 kills, and all of a sudden, this game is over. Right now, OSD is in an incredible position to not only take this top keep, but to potentially end this game. One of the best counters to this right now is to get a turn in. But the fact that you've lost all of your gems on the side of Luxorian, that is way too difficult to do. I think they recognize this. They're going for a flank from the backside here, Mega Man.
Yeah, but we're going to have the Junkrat with the trap. Actually going to catch Diablo, alert them of this flank. They're going to have time to back off here. Apoc going to come down, not going to be able to connect on anyone, unfortunately. Dragonblade comes out from the Genji. Junkrat getting very low there. Hanzo are going to come out, connect on multiple members here. Ancestral not going to land on Genji. He will fall. And this is looking bad for Luxorian so far. Riptire is going to get the pick on plays.
Silent Shield. I was going to say, Trent did an amazing job at keeping him alive. He ended up falling in the end to a little snipe there from Hanzo, but you know, they get the kill here.
That's game.
They're easily going to do. This should be game.
Yeah, this boss has a good amount of HP left. Even if they don't end here, they get some decent core damage down and open up a backdoor later.
OSD, whether it's Redian, whether it's Woven, who, by the way, is my MVP this series already, or Trent, these are some amazing plays being made by OSD tonight.
Yeah, they did a great job tonight. And the core starting to fall here. Trying to defend here desperately. Can they get more picks? They do have the pick on the Alex here.
I think they're
Corgi gonna fall. Woven doing some damage. Core down to 20%.
They're actually gonna hold.
Well, catapults though, are they gonna aggro on the minions?
They need to kill the catapults.
They saved it. They saved it with 14%. But they're gonna have to babysit this the entire game now.
Yeah, this is one of those games where you're like, man, I wish this was on release Junkrat, because then you just grab you go, if you had gone the Ripper Air or whatever it is, then you
Uh-huh.
just like constantly be toxic onto the core.
So I feel like they need to have somebody clearing up these bottom waves as they moved up here, because there's going to be a catapult on the core in a second. And they're going to send somebody back for that. There's the hearth.
That's multiple catapults. I was gonna say they cannot wait for that at all. Like
Yeah.
the shields are actually still regenerating.
Yeah, Hanzo going to make it back. The UI bug is still in there, but there is a shield on there. It's a UI bug. But we can see alt timers now, so that's always nice.
That's all that matters.
Patch is going to grab the night camp here. So basically, they're going to paint the map red, although not many camps to take here. But honestly, they lose 2 people, game's over. They don't have somebody watching the back door, game's over. And they can come from top or bottom because both keeps are down. They got to watch catapults. This is just going to be very tough for Luxorian. Woven going to dive in here. Is going to go for the pull possibly? Not going to go for that pull there.
I was gonna say, like, right now OSD doesn't need to do much. They have such control over this. They could play around 20, but if they look for a fight here and they lose, that could just further the momentum back in Luxorian's favor. And again, as you said, the catapults are going to be a constant threat. Hanzo and Genji, you know, the Mata brothers, they're reunited. They're going to clear up that top lane. But for Luxorian's Sun, they now have enough gems for a turn-in. They might have to fight to get it turned in, but I mean, if they fight and get that turned in, I mean, you might just see them try and run it down a lane and end right away.
If they can get a turn in and get like 3 or 4 picks, they could go straight to the bottom and just end the game. Because this is, it's 16 minutes, so death timers aren't huge, but the level gap with that 19 to 18, that one level gap at this point is going to add time to those death timers. And that could be enough to give them time to get the core down.
I mean, this is a big fight for them. If they're going to make it happen, they've got to do it now. I mean, they don't have a lot of the longer they sit and wait, the further up those catapults continue to get. Then they have to go back and clear again. Go back and clear again. And if you look at the experience, it's slightly in favor of OSD. And they do have enough time, just simply due to the fact that there are not really that many gems on the side of OSD. But Bunker goes down, and APOC used as a defensive tool.
This is not looking good so far. Base straight a little far out. Warden's Cage gonna zone. Flip combo onto Maev there, but the Hanzo are gonna connect as well to get the 3-man stun. Alex doing a lot of damage to that Dragon Form. Diablo's gonna be the first to fall here. Gonna pop the ult. Patches is running away, but Alex wants that kill. Same thing with Rhaegar. I don't think he makes it out.
Oh, trip!
Oh! Save.
130 health. Hayes walks away. This should be enough to end the game, though. I mean, we're sitting at 14%. They just need to rotate around. Hanzo, yeah, they're just going directly on the core. This should be it.
Yeah, as you said, there's not much they can do at this point. I mean, Hayes is still very low. Base rate's low. It's not good. Swoop is going to fall here. That's going to be GG. Congratulations, Order of the Sleeping Dragons. Going to take the 2-game series 2-0.
Dude, somebody needs to get this Woven guy, you know, some tryouts, man.
I mean,
like,
now's the time.
A Genji Maev player and do the things that he's done in these games and the damage that he's done in the 2 games. Like, look, man, I watch a lot of Heroes. I don't know if people know that. That's actually some really good play that we just saw from him.
Yeah, you watch Hero. I never took you as a Heroes kind of guy. I took you more of a lead guy.
Believe it or not.
All right, so guys, that is going to be game number 2 here. Order of the Sleeping Dragons, again, like I said, did win the game. So that's going to be a 2-0 in this series. Congratulations to them. We are going to pull... Let's see, do I have time? Yeah, we do have time for a quick interview. Let's see if we can pull them in here. Let me get my Discord up. J-How, pop into the general chat if you would for me, please. On Discord.
General voice or general chat?
Or general voice, yeah, sorry. Okay. All right, we'll have them in here in just a second, guys. Now, any interesting talents you see here, J-How? Anything odd you like pointing out?
Yeah, just the fact that my up slaughtered everybody.
But I slaughtered everybody. That is true, guys. We should have Silent Shoe here from Order of the Sleeping Dragons jumping in just a moment. I shot him over the link, just waiting on him to pop in.
Who did you say we're getting?
Silent Shoe.
Okay.
I believe he's their captain, and there he is.
Hola.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good. Congratulations on the 2-0 here tonight. How you guys feeling?
Feeling pretty good. We try to make things a little interesting with some throwing of stuff, but yeah, it was fun matches. They were good. They tested us some pretty interesting comps, and their team fighting was pretty good.
They did have some good team fights there. I really enjoyed, and J Hal didn't too. Woven on your team, we gave him the MVP. He did work for you guys. Does he normally go with a Genji Mayav, or is that something that's more of something he just enjoys offline a lot? It's like, hey guys, just put it in.
He plays, like, I'm pretty sure literally everything. Him and Corgi can play everything. We have like the two flexes in the game. Yeah.
That's always a good thing, man. J Hal, any questions for Silent Shoe here?
Yeah, man. So, I see this. There's this weird problem, right? Especially when we watch a lot of HGC, is that, you get into these compositions, your Genji player is also your Maiev player, who's generally your melee assassin, and then we see a lot of teams go double warrior. You guys had the penchant to say, look, we can't go double warrior because we have a Junkrat, therefore we need more damage, so you double down on the Thrall, so you went double melee assassin, which generally tends to work out a little bit better. When you're looking at these drafts, is it, we saw in chat, somebody said one trick Thrall. But do you guys actually put like that type of thought process into it and like, look, like one of our main damage dealers who is the Genji player is also the Maiev player, so therefore we need more damage. Is that something you guys kind of put in? Is it more just hero pools, or is there actual thought into those drafts? Because to me, when I see stuff like that, that shows a clear understanding of this is the most optimal way for this to function.
We do put thoughts into that. Redian is our drafter, and I'm pretty sure he spends like 24/7 just thinking of stuff all of the time. I don't think he does anything else. So like he insisted on the Thrall. We were thinking some other stuff, but he was like, I think the Thrall's here. They don't have anything to deal with him, and he's just gonna help our like old combos. So many good things with the Thrall there. The damage, like he did so much damage. The Thrall did, so absolutely intentional.
And then obviously I gotta know, so you guys are obviously in comms during these games. Redian hits one of the best self cleanses you'll see against the Cocoon on Volskaya. What does he say in comms? Like, is he prepping for this? When he does it, does he get super hype and you guys turn that fight? Because that was probably the biggest play that we saw in these two games.
He let out a sound. I'm not sure how to describe it. He let out a sound and then just like kill us. So I just pushed my R, and then Woven like weaved in and out with his E, and it was like it was like a hands off the keyboard moment. I was like, oh, cool, just got carried. Thank you.
Well, the whole thing about that was not only does he land the self-cleanse, but he goes in and he gets complete control over that. But then he also positions himself in a manner, because you had lined up your Planet Cracker, but the way that he positioned himself to get a maximum taunt directly into that's a very heads-up play. And for the moment, because I was saying that since you guys had about a third of a level lead, maybe a half a level lead, that you guys could have easily rotated mid lane, soak 20, and then come down and then picked a fight. But you guys opted to do that, but it was kind of forced on you with the Cocoon there. But the fact that you guys were able to pull that off in that moment, a 19 versus 19 fight when you're the team closer to 20, like that's clutch plays. I just want to say, man, I was really impressed by each of you guys individually, but that play right there was like, oh my God, that actually just happened. That was super incredible.
Yeah, we were all equally impressed. I am very lucky that from in that moment, all I have to do is push one button, and then I can like just fanboy over like my own teammate.
That's pretty much how I like to play too.
Yeah.
So.
I get that a lot with these guys.
You guys did a really good job tonight, and I'm glad I got to sit in on it.
Oh man, it was an honor having you cast us. You too, Mega Man fan.
Well, thank you. It was great games. I enjoyed it as always. Any shout outs, man, you want to drop?
Shout outs to my team. They are all wonderful. Even our subs. Shout out to Dammy, twitch.tv/Dammy429. Shout out to my staff, Fight Schmo, Ripper, Drive Safe, Fight Enjoy, Dorm. And I think that's about it. Oh, shout out to Luxorian Sun. Those are really fun guys, and they played a hell of a match.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, man, for the post-game review. Congratulations again on the win, and hope to see where you guys end up in the playoffs here for Nexus. Should be interesting.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right.
I'll see you guys later.
See you, man.
GG.
All right, guys. Well, that was it for tonight. J-How, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Guys, you need to go check out J-How's channel, J-How4444. If I remember correctly, it's 4 4s. Go check him out.
Pretty accurate.
He's streaming right now. I'm checking him out. I kind of like sneak into your chat while I'm at work and just let that run in the background. He's got some stuff planned because he may have flashed something on screen during stream earlier that I saw, and I'm excited. So you guys definitely need to keep an eye on his stream because he's got cool stuff coming up.
Soon TM.
Soon TM. But yeah, guys, that's it for us. Thank you guys for anyone who dropped follows, bits, anybody who hosted. I know there was a lot of you during the cast, so I appreciate you guys. As usual, we do keep that all turned off. I am one Mega Man fan. You can find me here every Tuesday and Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern time till whenever. Usually have Heroes of the Storm PUBG, and then almost always a cast for NGS or Charity Gaming League. If you guys are interested in Nexus Gaming Series, just do a quick Google search. You'll find the page. Scroll to the bottom, hit the link to Discord. That's where you get all the good information. It's a great group of people. Heroes is meant to be played as a 5-man team, and it's the most fun you'll have when you're with a consistent 5-stack. Even if you guys are just doing it for fun. We got people on teams that are just all bronze, all the way up to Masters, GM, that play, and it is just a great time there.
The key is to find somebody named Woven and play with them.
Yeah, everybody just add Woven right now to your team.
Easy game.
Easy game. Yeah, J-How, thank you for joining me. I really do appreciate it. It is an honor. Any lines you want to drop? Any shout outs?
No, man, just appreciate you having me and reaching out, and it was a very entertaining night. I'm glad the plays that were made because it kind of made it all worth it. So pretty cool.
Well, I'm glad it was worth it for you. Definitely worth for me. Guys, we hope you guys have an awesome, awesome night and a wonderful evening. That is it for now. We will drop you guys with a host over to another Nexus game, assuming there's one running right now. So hang tight for that. And again, guys, thank you for follows, etc. We'll see you guys next week or in the Nexus.